Okay, let's see. Okay, William.
Namo, fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo, fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. Namo, fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha. The unsurpassed, deep, profound, subtle, wonderful Dharma, in 100,000 million eons is difficult to encounter. Now that I have come to receive and hold it within my sight and hearing, I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual meaning.
That's good. Um, I think last time we read up to here. Mm, I think we finished this one, right? I think we do also finish this one too. Don't you think?
Of the past, not that everyone like that. The answer is the follow praise Buddhas have become all obstruction, takes them this is Hmm. Um, I don't I don't think we read that part yet.
But we did this one, right?
Then it was lead us into the life. We never needed by the king's in your house. We make loud impression by the same way everybody's have boosted by the guest council this week. Yes, I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, let's do this. I'll go ahead, William.
At this point, a doubt may arise. If, as stated, a Buddha can relieve all beings of their suffering, why have the countless Buddhas of the past not yet led everyone to enlightenment now? The answer is as follows. Because Buddhas have overcome all obstructions and limitations, they possess all the wisdom, compassion, and skillful means necessary for leading others to Buddhahood. However, if sentient beings from their side do not exert the necessary effort, if they do not bother to follow the path shown to them by the Buddhas, they will remain stuck within samsara. As has often been said, a Buddha cannot remove another's suffering and delusions the way we can pluck a thorn from another's flesh. Without a cooperative effort, nothing can be achieved. Merely relying upon an enlightened being is not enough.
What did you understand?
This makes total sense. And in Buddhism, never is it said that the Buddha is going to do the practice for us.
Hmm.
We can learn the teachings, but it's very clearly stated and over that practice is important.
Hmm.
Just knowledge alone won't lead to wisdom and won't lead to liberation. We have to practice the teachings and apply them. And this is saying that in other words.
Hmm. Um, Last night I shared the teaching with the Vietnamese class, and we also discussed about um, so let's say that the Buddha teaches us when we should we when we do the giving, when we perform the giving, should we have to make the judgment which one is the proper given? I mean the audience. No, the receiver. Who is the proper receiver? Who is not? Don't you think?
Yeah, I mean, especially if we're giving, depending on what we're giving, like if we're giving money, I mean, we give money to the Buddha temple and we know that's going to be used well, but you give money to someone on the side of the street, they may actually use that money to buy drugs and, that money fuels crime and could fuel other violence and it could hurt them. So we can't always just give everybody what they want if we want to help them. We have to exercise wisdom with what to give to who.
One of the lady, she asked this question here. She very afraid that when she perform the giving, if she give to the wrong one, right? That means in the future, that means right now we've established the affinity with them. And that means in the future we will meet him or her again. And if that person is walk on the wrong path, and we will be collective karma with them, and we also somehow follow them on the wrong path. So she said that how do we um, do the giving so that give to the right one, the one is worthy forgiven?
Hmm. Well, to me, it would seem to be, I wouldn't really be worried about that. I wouldn't be worried that if I gave something to someone that in a future life I may follow them because I was generous to them. I don't think one follows from the other. I think in a future life they may have a good affinity with us and they may, wish to do us some sort of good turn, but that wouldn't mean that we'd have to take on their habits.
Actually, this is important. Um, in Buddhism, if we practice generosity by itself, is that good enough?
Or not, no, we need to have it balanced with wisdom.
Right. Well,
Mhm.
a lot of people, a lot of other religion, they are very good in performing the generosity, right? To do the good deed.
Mhm.
But what happens if we only focus on the generosity side, but we do not practice the Dhamma? What will happen?
Well, in future lives, we will be blessed, but we'll lack wisdom. And so we'll continue to suffer and ultimately have a undesirable rebirth.
So
In that,
let's say that the person that we offer or we given is the one that who exploit our kindness and do the thing that behind us. That person is just using the money for his or her own advantage. Then how? Then should we afraid of those things?
I think if we become aware that we're giving money to someone and it's causing them harm, like it's not helping them, but it's actually enabling a sort of behavior that's harmful to them, then we can't give them money anymore because we don't want to harm them.
But
So,
actually, let's say they a scheme, right? Scam.
uh-huh.
Well, how do you know? How do we know that they use the money for something else? And this is happen in right now. Actually, at the temple, we have one the lady. She have a friend, right? And her friend is very generous. Um, she watched one of the video from this person in Vietnam that he the one who encouraged that person who encouraged that everyone to donate to him. He will use the money for to give out the let's say if someone passed away but they are very poor, they do not have money for the caskets, right? And he the one to willing to use the money to give to them for free, and include the ritual performing free as well. Everything is free.
Mm.
It sounds great, right? And also they also create the video that like real. Does it make sense? And I heard her
Yeah.
friend each time she contribute to this person, it's a few maybe couple uh maybe $20,000 or $30,000. That's a big money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
And also, this person, they said that, oh, right now we want to buy the land for to have the place for the to bury the people, right? If they don't have the money to pay for it. And also, he said that we need to have the home funeral because each time we do, we have to rent out. We have to rent out. And it's very inconvenient. How about this? We go ahead and buy there is the one available for us. Why not? We just use the money and buy it. And actually, this person, the friend from one of our labor person here, she slyly do it without go directly go to Vietnam and see herself. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
She just watch the video and believe whatever he said. And she asked me, I mean the lay person here asked me, what should I advise to her friend? And I said that, well, each time when we do, okay, let's say that. In this case, what should you do?
Well, nowadays, I mean, not even just now, it's on the internet, we can never just take something at face value. We really need to see that it is corroborated by other sources, that it's a known entity, if it's doing some sort of work, that it's not that our only information about it can't just be from the person who's receiving the money. Like, we need to know that this is an organization that has a good track record, that has some involvement with other organizations, something to let us know that it's credible. And before we know that it's credible, right, it may just be someone with a scam, yeah, with a video and a website. And so it doesn't sound like the best thing to give money to. It sounds like it's a reasonable cause that the person is saying they have, but there are so many other organizations, and there's so many, like, there's causes for the living too. Um, so I wouldn't give to something I didn't know was credible.
Hmm. And and you know that people come together, right? Because of the affinity we have with them in the past. So this kind of affinity between her and that person, it's a positive affinity. Positive doesn't mean that person is good. That means they positive, but that means the other person, whatever he say or do, even it's not logical, this person still believe it in him because positive affinity they have in the past. Does it make sense?
Mhm.
This is very scary. And that's why yesterday, one of the ladies, she asked that. She afraid. And I also agree. We should be afraid. When we do something, right, help out, we have to make the good judgment. Otherwise, if we give to the wrong hand, I mean, I'm talking about the big money. I'm not talking about homeless or here and there. Those things is okay. One a while, it's okay. But small money is not a big deal. But I'm talking about the long-term health or the big
Mhm.
money. We are
Yeah.
I'm concerned about those things. So if we mistakenly help the wrong person, that means we establish the affinity with them. And if that person walk on the wrong path, and later on, well, think about this. Yes, maybe in the past, this person owned that man, right? That means that man is the collector, the debt collector. And this guy, lady, is the debt. And later on, if this guy gets too much, right? And the lady will become the debt collector. And that man become dead. And it will be in the cycle. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It will suffer. If we are the one follow, let's say that if someone is our debt collector, but he walk on the wrong path, and we follow that wrong path, we fall to that, like when they climb up to the hill, right? If they that means they are fly, they cannot see, they will fall down to from the cliff. Does that make sense? We will fall as well because the climb leading the group of the blind people will fall the same place. That person. Just like we holding the road, the same road, but the leader is also holding that road. We follow him with that road, and we when he fall, we fall the same place.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. That's very dangerous. And nowadays, this thing is and he also claimed himself. You know what he said? He said that he he is the underground, just that he know about life and death of each person.
Mm.
So when someone say like that, me, what do you think?
Like I say, like I just like what I hear what you say. I mean, the affinity of that individual with that the scammer in the past life, correct? They might have some positive affinity, but if the the scammer continue to try to get the fun from that individual, how I don't know how this is going to turn out for the next life of that
Mm.
individual, the scammer.
So William, so if someone say that he is the underground church, that means that means the in when I say underground, you know what I mean?
You said underground. You said church.
Judg
Oh, judge.
church.
Judge. He's the underground judge. So that
Underground
he
judge.
decides where people go after death.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, King Yama. You were saying this is the person who
That's
says
like
that to King
Yama,
Yama.
Yama. That's right. Yeah,
Yes.
Yama
Yeah.
King, Yama King.
I
And
never
he
heard
say
that
that
idea.
he know the each person life and death.
Yeah. It sounds like, I mean, that's common in scams to have some sort of story that people can believe. I mean, especially if someone's trying to get a ton of money, they really need to paint themselves as this sort of exceptional figure. And that sounds like that's what he's trying to do.
Hey,
And
that sound like the gold digger.
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely.
Definitely, definitely,
Yes.
yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
So then we
Remember,
we we need to run away from them then.
but when you have a positive affinity with them, you cannot run away from them.
Then you need to
If,
continue to do your dharma, learning and do bow like 1,000. Instead of 100 times a day, you need to bow the Buddha. More than that every day until you get out of that. That's all I.
um, so
Oh,
um, so
okay.
in the Sangamrama Sutra, right? The 50 demons state, right? Most of them is say that when we see someone claim themselves that they are enlightened or they are arahat or whatever, that means we know that is the false one, right? The real one, they never do that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so we better. run as fast as we can. But the problem here is, yes,
Well, I had some experience like this with a spiritual teacher who goes by the name of Saima.
uh-huh,
And what I did was I remembered it took a while because she was very compelling. And there's beneficial things that she would teach too, like benefit on a relatives level. Um, but I kept remembering the Buddhist teachings and kept looking at her actions and what she taught her students and how she behaved through the lens of the Buddhist teachings. And eventually I couldn't ignore it anymore. That there are all these little caveats in Buddhism where a bodhisattva may appear in all sorts of different ways.
mm,
So I was kind of giving the benefit of the doubt for a prolonged period of time, kind of being generous with suspending judgment,
mm.
and then was focusing on more of kind of some of the exciting parts of the practice that she taught and kind of the excitement she had around her. But
How
eventually, yeah, it
long,
was just knowing
how
the
long,
Buddhist teachings that got me to stop and to come back to working sincerely directly with Buddhism.
but you are very blessed. You were very blessed that you have the Buddha teaching as a guidance
Hmm.
to help you to contemplate, right? To make a judgment for against that person. But how long it take you to get out?
7 years.
7 years.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it still took a long time.
But still a good thing though. Still that
But
you
it's
can get
still
out.
good. It's still good.
Yeah, and it wasn't, I mean, it wasn't terrible. Like for her monastics, she recommended vegetarianism and like Brahma practices. They talk about in the
Uh-huh.
sutra about Brahma practices, so brahmacharya. So it was in a Hindu tradition. She would occasionally acknowledge the Buddha kind of in a small way, and she would like teach about all religions. So she was trying to bring people together, but she'd wear silk. She'd have kind of multiple houses, little cake. Yeah, so it was like
Well, see
she was
the
still
gold,
attached to money into
see,
sense pleasure.
see the gold digger, right? That's why she have many houses.
But I don't know. I hesitate to, it appears that
Wow.
she had an attachment to money is like what it looks like. I don't want to be too, I know it wasn't, I kind of don't have to have a big opinion anymore other than I decided I didn't want to like
Mm.
follow her teachings.
Well, that means in your past life you have a very good root in Buddhism. That's why you never underestimate the Bodhichitta. Maybe you have a good root, especially the Bodhichitta. It helps you to be able to feel it. But wow, I really curious. It took you 7 years.
Yeah. Well, it was a community aspect that was part of it. A lot of these groups, there's a strategy they call love bombing, is people who look for these groups generally in their families, they didn't really receive this sort of like full attention and like healthy parental
Mm,
interactions. So there's like a part where they really are looking for this sort of love unconsciously. And
mm,
so it can be weaponized against them. So
yeah.
in these communities, they'll have the leader will have the other people be just so over the top, loving and caring and kind, but it's all appearances. Like
Mm,
as soon as you're not, going to the events or giving money to the teacher, they're not around anymore. None of the other people. They're only doing it because the teacher wants them to do it,
uh,
and they're doing it to try to get into the teacher's like good favor.
mm,
But like one of the biggest things I kept like seeing was she wore silk. And it's such an easy thing. Like there's so many other fabrics. If you care about living things, you just wouldn't wear silk. It's like such a simple thing. It's only if you're attached to your appearance and how other people's perceive you that you would wear silk. But I just, there's stories of these Tibetan masters that would eat onions and bite the heads off of fish. So It's like sometimes they appear differently, and she had a very compelling presence, and
Mm,
really people were attributing a lot of benefit in their life to the influence that she had on them. So it was mixed. It was like mixed with there was something she was doing that was helpful, but it was motivated by self-interest, I think. So I
right.
think that would
Well,
be like could be that's a demon state, right? Because
right.
it's not
Especially,
necessarily purely bad, but it's not the true full teaching.
well, especially for those people, they also borrow the Buddha teaching only on the surface to paint their appearance. So that's very sad that if we do not have the wisdom, we cannot be able to distinguish. Um, the wisdom it very much come from the Mahayana Sutra. So it's it if we don't have that kind of wisdom, it's not easy at all. So so we have to be very careful, right? Um, so so just like maybe you have a positive affinity with that spiritual lady in the past, but somehow she the one who walked on the wrong path. And due to the positive affinity, then you stuck for 7 years. But good thing is you okay. You got out okay, safely. That's the
Mhm.
good news. And you said that your friend is still there, right?
Oh, I know a bunch of people who I met through there are still involved in it. I did not bring anyone to it.
Oh,
So,
okay.
and she was actually upset with me about that, that I'd been with her for 7 years and I hadn't brought a single person to follow
Oh,
her.
when you met her, when you met her.
I actually met her at an interfaith event that she hosted, and she invited the local Zen center to come and give a brief presentation. And so we went and we recited the Great Compassion mantra
Oh,
in the
wow.
presentation. And then they all left right after, and I hung around and I watched it. And then she offered to pay for me to go to her retreat that weekend. And then
Wow.
she really wanted to have young people around because she would like put us up front and point to us as like an example for the adults to motivate them. But
What
also,
year was that? What year was that?
I this would have been, let's see, I graduated high school 2004, so it would have been like 2003. Or yeah, 2003 is when I met her. I think spring of 2003.
Wow, that's a long time now. It's
Mhm.
about 20 years.
Yeah, 20 years
Hmm.
ago, but haven't since it would have been
2011, maybe.
yeah, maybe 2010. It didn't go into med school, no. So maybe it wasn't 7 years because 2003 med school started 2008, and I
Mm.
was already done by med school. So it would have been like 5 years. Yeah, not
Mm.
seven. Would have
That's
been like
good. That's
five
good. That's good.
years, five, maybe six, somewhere in
So
there.
that's why yesterday one of our Buddhist lady in the class, she concerned that's like your scenario. Yes, we should always aware of this whenever we want to make any affinity with others, especially when you do the giving. Um, if we perform the giving to the wrong one, they use it for their own benefit. They will create karma, and we are the one also the what do you call the cooperative karma with them, right? So it's not worth it. So we have to be very wise and remember we are not bodhisattva and we cannot give that like bodhisattva, right? Even the head, even the arm, no, we cannot do that because our blessing is very limited. So we have to use wisely. Otherwise, I know that a lot of people, they have a lot of good heart people, right? They just want to do good, just do the give and to help others. But sometimes they do not, they blindly uh, believe in those people, and they just do it without thinking, and that's scary. And especially nowadays, the scam and all here and there. Oof. And we have to be very careful. And if we don't learn the Dharma, we cannot be able to distinguish. Okay. But let's say that when we do the giving, we have to make sure we distinguish who is the worthy one, who is not the worthy one. How do we base on that? So the Buddha said that the one who are not rich, right? Not rich, that means we know enough is enough. We let's say that we are Buddhist monk. We yes, we need to have a support from the lay people for the shelter, for the medicine, for food, to help us to sustain our physical form so we can practice for the benefit of ourselves and others. That's all we need. Nothing else. And we, in general, we should not set up a condition that to put someone in the place that they do not want. For example, we call out for the donation. Should we do that? Should we, the one who call out to raise fund?
I always think about the consequence, like the consequence of certain actions as a way to judge it. So if someone, as a monastic was putting pressure on followers to give money, then it could actually turn people away from learning the Dharma. Where
Well,
I mean, if you teach the sutras will do that. They help educate people about the benefits of giving, but to do it oneself directly, I don't think I don't think it's good. It could turn people off, turn them away.
so well, yes, well, the reason they do the fundraising for to build a temple, to have the better place for everyone to come and practice, that's a good thing. But sometimes fundraising is a problem. You know why? When we call for the fundraising and we put them into the situation they have to do it. You know what I mean?
Social pressure, yeah.
Yeah, social pressure, peer pressure as well. That means you see you see your friend do it, and if you do not do it, you feel guilty. That is not right thing to do. You know what I mean? That's why we should not create that um, uh, condition for other to put that. If they don't want it, we should not do that. And if we don't want to do it, we don't want others to do the same thing to us. and well, sometimes when we have too much money, it will become the problem. Right? Um, and we when we use the money, everything it comes from who? Come from the good donator, right? That help us to sustain our living condition for the practice, right? And we also use their money to set up the program for the kid. For example, we have the after school program at the temple. We have to hire the tutor. We use those money to hire the tutor. to teach the kids for free. And sometimes in the Kentucky temple, before, I think it's the master paid more than $2,000 each month for the tutor. Think about it. If you have at least two tutors, right? Each hour it's $20 or $15 or $20. And each day 2 hours. Depend on the number of the tutor you have. It become a lot of money. And where the money come from, the temple pay for it. And actually the money is not from the temple. The money donated by other people, and we just use that people to return to their children. Basically, we have nothing. Money it also come from other, and we just return them with the service. It's free, everything free. Even the summer camp, I heard that my master said that the summer came over there, no one helped. There not much volunteer, especially for the parents. And at the temple, he pay out $4,000 or $5,000 only for 1 week summer camp for the kids. But it's worth it because we provide the environment for the kids come together so they can enjoy as well as learn the Buddhist. The after school program is we using the after school program to bring the kids to the temple so they be able to attend every Friday class to learn the Dhamma. And every day for the after school program, we also have 30 minutes for them to watch the moral story or video or the Buddhist story video. So at least we want to plant the good seed to those young kids. Well, it's not easy in this country to bring the young kids, the small kids to the temple. They'd rather stay home to play games. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, but anyway, so we do everything to provide the service free for them. So they can have the healthy environment to come and we speak English for them because they only know English. They don't know Vietnamese. They only know a few words. Barely speak Vietnamese, right? The children, Vietnamese kids born here, they are American. So yeah, adults, right? For the adults, if they have many options. If they don't come to this temple, they can go elsewhere. But for the children, if they don't come to this temple, where do they go? Because not many temples have the teaching for the kids in English.
Mm-hmm.
That's the tough time. If we don't take a good care of the youth, who will take a good care for the Buddhists in the future? Right? All of us, 40 above, eventually we are gone. And what we have left is the young kids. If we don't teach them now, we don't take a good care of them now, they know nothing about Buddhism. Then you know what? Not too long later on, maybe 40 or 50 years later, the Vietnamese temple, it will be similar to the Chinese temple because Chinese, they came here more than 100 years ago before us. You remember the railroad, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now that temple, it's not many people come, especially the young one. Because in the past, they do not focus on the children in English. If we keep teaching and everything to do with the Vietnamese language, well, we end up today, even worse. And you know what? The temple will become the museum. Huh? And Jimmy, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
Yes, yes, yeah, Movak. Yes, absolutely correct.
so I remember after the over here after 1 week 6 days to summer camp, and the master yeah, we hand out the certificate for the reward, right? And also some of the reward gifts for them. Everything is free. So and we encourage them. So and we ask them, the master asked them, who is the first time attended summer camp here? And there is a kid now, he going to 6th grade. And then the master asked him, what did you learn for the entire week? He said like this. In this week, he learned the most is how to respect him. And he told everyone that before, right? He usually have the conflict with his father. He always talk back to his father. And you know what? On that day, he said that from now on, I will not treat my father in that way. See, it's changing a person is not easy, but through the education, you can change. The proper moral education, you can change from bad into good. Well, sometimes it takes a very long time. It's okay. As long as we have patience, everything all right. So teaching the kid is a big challenge. Each one of them have a different behavior. If we not patient, we cannot teach them. Patient with loving kindness, not with yelling. If we yell them, maybe few weeks later you don't see them. They run away from us. And they will not have a good, healthy environment. So when they make a mistake, we should not condemn them in front of others. We just call them out, talk to them individually, and teach them the action that he or she make is not proper, and explain to them why, and help them. If you do this, you know what are the consequences. You teach them with the explain everything to you. That is the loving kindness and the compassion. When the kids have trust in us, because they trust with our loving kindness. So I usually told the parent, if the parent want to teach the children, don't treat them like your children. Treat them just like your friend. If we treat them with just like your children, that means we will use the parent authority. Yes, they will scare at us. If we teach the children and make them scared at us, that is the failure. It's not the success story. That means every time they make mistake at school or everywhere else, they will afraid to tell us. And that means we put them into the situation they could become depression. Because the environment we give them is not healthy. And never use any harsh word or negative word taught to them. Don't use those things. Because that will plant in their mind. And it will become the mental problem in the future for them. Because the word from our mouth could be a weapon or could be a loving care for them. Right? The word can become the menacing or can become the poison. It depends how we use it. Well, I told you, I don't know, I told you already. I have a chance to teach to help my cousin. That is my uncle daughter. She 22 years less than me. The distance, the distance, the different that in the age, she 22 years younger than me. But when I begin to teach her, began to teach her at the age she was 8th grade or 7th grade. I teach her every week, both the subject, the school subject, as well as the Buddhist teaching, Buddha teaching. Until she graduated with high school, and I stopped at that time. But every time she finished her semester final, I come down there and take her to have a drink outside in the Starbucks or wherever. And I asked her how was she doing for the last semester. So I willing to listen to whatever she said. And I am the one that give her advice. I never force her. One time when she was 11th grade, my uncle cried when I came to his house. He cried so much. And I asked him, what happened, uncle? And he said that his daughter ran away from her. Well, went to her friend's house and stayed there overnight because he the one make her like that. And I told my uncle, if you trust me, you let me have all the authority, full authority to teach her. You should not interfere. Let me do the teaching. And yes, he did. And that's what I give her. I give him when before I leave leaving the California to she tried to apply for the uh, for the occupational therapy school the second year. That means 2 years already. But she on the second year she's still waiting for the approval for acceptance. I told her that before I leave California to go to Kentucky for the to ordain, you will be accepted into school. And yes, on May she did. And she graduated in 2022 with occupational therapy. And now she got married and she have a good life. She just have a baby. Anyway, so I give my uncle a daughter, as well as the good son. On the day I make a vow to become a monk at the monastery, I invite the whole family of my uncle. That means his son, the older one. That means the oldest son is from Florida. Before he alcoholic to the point that he about to have the liver problem.
Mm.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And when I invite him, right, a family include him, and on that year, my younger brother, he lived in New Jersey. He had the cancer on for the final stage, but he hiding from us. He never revealed that thing to us. But when I came to Kentucky, I find out that he very serious illness. And I told him to come to Kentucky and I will take care of you. And we be able to successfully transfer him to Kentucky with the healthcare transfer as well, the insurance, medical insurance. And he was there and for 2 weeks, and he died in the hospital after almost 1 week after my ordain. And the my cousin, that means the oldest son of my uncle, he the one that canceled the trip after the ceremony. He stayed there with me. We both went to the hospital and take care of my brother. He witnessed that how his cousin it because my brother is the same thing with my cousin. He was alcoholic. But you know what? To the point, the for the few weeks before end of his life, he had a strong trust in me and a very strong trust in Buddhism. And I be able to help him, and my cousin be able to witness that. And you know what? After he passed away, right? And I I I talked to my cousin every time we are together. We were together in the hospital for many hours about Buddhism. I took that opportunity to teach him. And after the funeral, and he went back to Florida. Since that day, he became vegetarian. He quit drinking, smoking. And every day he recite 3 times of the Great Compassion Mantra. And 1 year later, I encouraged him to take the Bodhisattva vow. And he did. That means I give my uncle another son. Because my uncle is the one that who took me here to the United States. We were both people.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it's not easy, right? It's not easy. But when we do things, sometimes we don't have wisdom. But if we do with the mind of loving kindness and compassion, and also we are the one who practice the Dharma, we always pray for Buddha and Bodhisattva to give us the light so we can see things better. And that sometimes will help us to overcome the most difficulty situation. Oh, I encounter a lot of difficulty in life, but anyway, but now things is okay. Eventually, everything turned into positive. Most of them turn into positive. See,
Mm-hmm.
depend on how we live and how we deal with the situation. So, given material, or even though you don't have material to give, you can give your love, then kindness and compassion. That is more important than the material. Right? Because that kind of giving, you will have a lot of patience. Okay. Anyway, so sometime whenever we have the negative situation, using the negative situation to practice the love of kindness and compassion. Don't let the negative push us down. Yeah. Usually when we encounter the negative, we usually we react, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if we, the one who sincerely practice, we should not react. We should use that condition or environment to practice the loving kindness and compassion. We don't request those things come to us, but it can be due to our negative affinity in the past we played. It's okay. It's all right. So that means positive is good, but when it's negative, we still turn negative into good because the mind are positive. No one give us that. We are the one give ourselves that. Yeah. And everything will be all right. You remember the song, Everything is all right.
Yeah, it's a Bobby Darin, I think. Well, that's Don't Worry. Yeah, don't worry about a thing. Mm-hmm.
Everything will be all right.
Mm-hmm.
So everything will be all right. As long as you have the positive mind. But if you don't have a positive mind, everything will not be all right.
Mm-hmm.
So that important. So when we do the good deed, but we do not practice the Dhamma, you only have the blessing. But the blessing will not save us when we encounter the difficulty because we don't have wisdom to overcome. Right? It's very tough. Okay, now it's late already, but I have a few stories I want to tell, but it's already late. But anyway, we will still have any other question before we start.
I don't have any questions.
Okay. So our way,
I'm good. Thank you, Thầy.
our way, make sure we do good with the good judgment. Okay. Don't just do without judgment. That will be bad. That will be terrible. We don't want to be like that. Okay. Okay. Okay, anh Jimmy. Jimmy.
Dạ, một Phật Thầy. May every living being, our minds at one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with heart of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in given unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless life break the darkness of their endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. Mô Phật.
Yeah, no problem. I will see you Oh, next Saturday, I will be busy for the funeral. So we
Okay.
will skip the Saturday, but Sunday it's okay, I think.
Okay. Sounds good. Now I'll
Right.
see you next Sunday.
Right, thank you.
Thank you, Williams. Have a good evening.
Thank you too, Jimmy. You have a good one too. Is your eye doing? Is your eye? I remember a couple times ago we talked about your eye. Is that
We're good now. Yeah,
you
it